Is ToK the study of knowledge, or is it actually the study of the relationship between phenomena? I know that can sound a bit complex, so let's look at this drawing by Dutch artist M.C. Escher to illustrate the question. Now you may be able to see blue and white grey fish. Do the blue fish define the white grey fish, or vice versa? Could the blue fish exist without the white fish, and vice versa? Are the fish at all important? Or is it the relationship between the fish which is important? Now, M.C. Escher was a master of making pictures out of tessellating shapes. Look at this one. You may be able to see blue and green fish, similar to the last picture, but you may also be able to see blue and green swans. Now, the colour of the animal does not accord with a specific animal. Some fish are green, some are blue, and likewise with the swans. Therefore, it's not the colour that denotes the animal, but their shape. And again, we can ask, is the shape determined by the other animals around it? Is it the relationship between the shapes which determines the shape itself, i.e., is it the relationships between the things which determine the things rather than the things themselves? Let me just let that sit for a second. Is it the relationships between the things which define the things rather than the things themselves? Now, some of the people who wrote The Theory of Knowledge believe that it's the relationship between things which forms knowledge, rather than the knowledge itself. And these people are called structuralists, and their thinking informs much of what we learn in ToK. Therefore, today, on ToK today, I think we need to talk about these structuralist people. Structuralism is a way of understanding how we interpret and construct meaning from our experiences, and therefore it's one way of explaining how we produce and acquire knowledge. It emerged in the early 20th century through the work of linguists like Ferdinand de Saussure, and later expanded to other fields by scholars such as Claude Lévi-Strauss in anthropology and Louis Althusser in philosophy. And at its core, structuralism proposes that our understanding of reality is not based on individual elements themselves, but rather on the relationships between those structures and the relationships that connect those elements. Saussure argued that language, for instance, functions not due to the inherent meanings of the words, but because of the different network of relationships between the words. For example, we understand the meaning of day because we understand its difference from night. And you can sort of see this in cartoons where they mumble dialogue, but you still know what's being said because you understand the sorts of things, the context and the relationships between what's being said. Now, in this perspective, meaning is constituted through binary oppositions and relations implying that the essence of any element can only be comprehended in its relation to others within a given structure. And this idea rejects the notion of intrinsic meaning, emphasizing instead the collective structures that underpin our understanding and knowledge. As such, knowledge does not have inherent meaning, but it's relative and contestable. A ToK idea. Now, applying this to ToK further, the structuralist view suggests that knowledge isn't merely an accumulation of facts and experiences, but rather it's organised in specific structures that shape how we perceive, interpret and understand the world. Now, these structures are not just external, but they're also internalised, and they form a crucial part of our cognitive apparatus and potentially our identity. ToK essay prompts often ask about the organisation and classification of knowledge. And there are a few exhibition questions about this as well. Now, these questions are actually asking you about structuralism. In AOK, the arts and optional themes, knowledge and language, religion and indigenous societies, we can look at the work of Claude Lévi-Strauss, who extended structuralist ideas to the study of cultures. Now, he proposed that cultural phenomena like myths, rituals, and social norms can be understood as systems of symbolic communication operating on structural laws. The meanings of these phenomena emerge from their position within a larger, structured set of cultural relations. So what does this mean for ToK? Well, it means we're not focusing on the knowledge itself, for example, knowledge as objects, but we're looking at the underlying structures on which we place or define knowledge as subjects. You'll have come across this in many of your hexagon diploma studies. For example, in language A, you may have looked at textual structures, story arcs, or narrative structures. In language B, you will have looked at verb structures. In individuals and societies and natural sciences, you may have looked at the methodology for carrying out research, and so on and so on. The underlying structures on which knowledge is formed are defined all around us. Structuralism's core tenet that meaning and knowledge are dependent on structures of relationships has profoundly shaped our understanding of knowledge, language, culture, and cognition. Structuralism remains a critical tool for exploring how we generate and organize knowledge, offering deep insight into the relational nature of meaning and understanding. Now, in the next video in this mini-series on structuralism, I'll look at how the work of some key structuralist writers has influenced our theory of knowledge. And in the final video in the series, I'll look at the critique of structuralism and consider some post-structuralists. Now, if you're looking for extra help with your ToK exhibition or ToK essay, we've got loads of resources to help you over at toktoday.com, including the ever-popular ebook, Every ToK Exhibition Prompt Explained, a link in the video description. You can also get coaching or written feedback from me. If you could see a way to give me a like or a subscribe for this video, I would be structurally grateful. Many thank you for watching. Stay ToKtastic, my friends. Bye.